Welcome back to another episode of Talia Talks. I'm so happy to be sitting down here and talking to you all today about confidence. We're going to get into it. So, last night I was at a party and somebody asked me about confidence because when I go to a party and I'm in my party mode Talia element, I feel really good, and people can tell. People can tell that I am coming across as confident. So, I want to start off by defining confidence, and then I'll share a little bit about what I would do with somebody who wants to build confidence. Okay. And then I'll share a little bit about my personal journey with confidence. So, defining confidence. What is confidence? And it's something that can be really individualized. So, if you have your own definition for confidence that feels good to you, stick with that. One way that I like to think of confidence is self trust, and competence. So, this is like the formula for confidence. So, we're kind of getting into how to build it now, but just stick with me. So, self trust is following through with your word, what you say you're going to do. And this has to do with you and you. Do you trust yourself to do what you want to do and not do what you don't want to do? Do you trust yourself to follow through? And then competence is simply knowing that even if you don't have the answer, you will figure it out. If you don't know how to do something right away because you're human and nobody knows how to do something right on the first try, you are competent and confident that you'll be able to figure it out. You will learn, okay? And so it's not knowing how to do everything and just being competent because you know how to do everything. No, it's knowing that even when there are things that you encounter that you don't know how to do, you'll figure it out. You'll ask the right questions or ask any questions and get the answer that you need. So that's competence. And then self trust, right? And this is the recipe for confidence. So I think a lot of people who want to build confidence see somebody who's embodying confidence and feel like that way of being is unattainable or not possible for them, for where you're at. When you feel insecure and you're just like, well, how could I be on that level of feeling so good about myself when I notice all of these things that I don't like about myself? And there's this misconception that confidence is feeling hot all the time and feeling sexy and like just loving yourself all the time and never being insecure. And that's just so not what it is. I am somebody who can come off as very confident because I have access to that way of being. And it's because I've built over time the skill of confidence. And what I love about viewing confidence as a skill is that it knocks it down from feeling like something that's unattainable that only some people have access to. If you're like really beautiful, then you should automatically be confident, or if you're really smart, then you be confident. No, it's a skill. It's something that you can practice and get better at. So no matter where you're at right now with your level of confidence, I want you to really understand that it's a skill. And just like any skill, if you want to get better at it, it just takes practice and it takes time and energy and effort to practice. And guess what? You have the ability to do all of those things to increase your skill of confidence. So I wanted to offer that mindset shift of viewing confidence as something that is outside of yourself or something that some people just have that, you have to develop over time. It's a skill, and like any other skill, you absolutely can get better at it with practice. And I will say, I do think that there is some truth to having the external attention validate your internal confidence. So, what I want to say about that is, as somebody who has been appreciated for my beauty throughout my life, it's helped me to value my own beauty and have a relationship with it with myself. And so I don't know that if I was somebody who wasn't given that feedback throughout my life that I am beautiful and pretty, that I would feel that way about myself. And that's just the truth. So I do want to just acknowledge that there is that aspect to it, that it's not just about your inner feelings of yourself, although that is the most important piece. I cannot stress that enough. There is an aspect of external validation or confirmation that can be really helpful in cultivating confidence. But again, it's that internal validation, that way that you view yourself, how you speak to yourself, that really matters. Somebody could be the most beautiful person in the world and be constantly told that they are beautiful and be seen as just the ideal beauty standard. And if they don't receive that fully, or if they don't feel that way about themselves, it's like, it's not going to hit, It doesn't really, it's not about how much external validation you get. It's about how much you can actually receive that. And if you're not feeling, if you don't believe the words that people tell you about yourself, the positive feedback that you get, it doesn't mean anything. And if you're somebody who struggles with confidence, I'm also going to take a wild guess and say that you're also somebody who's really hard on yourself. And if you're hard on yourself, it can be really hard to believe other people when they tell you that you're doing a good job. And so one of the steps that I want to work on with you is really receiving information and compliments and feedback when people tell you that you're doing a good job, that you look beautiful, that you are a beautiful person, that you're talented, whatever they tell you, I want you to really take it in and sit with it and return to it, okay? And this, over time, will train your brain to pay more attention to those pieces of information than the negative pieces of information. And if you're hard on yourself, you already have a pretty loud inner critic that's probably running some negative self-beliefs 24/7, or at least like half of the time. So you really, really want to start taking in those compliments and taking in those little glimmer moments when you're feeling good about yourself and when you're receiving that feedback from the world around you. So that's step one that I have for you, is to really receive those pieces of information. And you can take it a step further by anchoring that in. Okay, and what I mean by that is, if you go back and listen to the first episode of this podcast, I talk all about anchoring it in to your nervous system. And what I mean by that is pair a physical action. For me, I press on my dimple. Pair a physical action with the affirmation, with the compliment. So somebody tells you that you feel beautiful, or somebody tells you that you look beautiful. You just simply say thank you and smile and do your absolute best to open your heart and receive it, okay? Just say thank you. And anytime throughout the day when you feel that, when you feel good about yourself, when you feel like those words are true, anchor it in. Affirm it and use that point on your body that you choose to anchor it in. So your nervous system can get the signal that something's happening, something's shifting. It's not just staying in your mind, okay? So like I said, for me, I press on my dimple, and I'll give you an example. Earlier today, I was feeling really good about myself because I did something new for the first time, and it felt awesome because I was really scared to do it. And then I did it, and I was like, that's cool. And I anchored that in. I pressed on my dimple, and it's like locking in all of those good feelings. And then that way, when you need access to that, you've basically created an on button for yourself. You've basically created a way for your system to switch on and activate when you need access to that version of you that feels on top of the world, that feels good. Over time, as you anchor in all of those moments, when you feel good, when you feel joy, when you feel beautiful, when you feel confident, anytime, anchor it in. Over time, you have access to that. Your nervous system, you're literally repatterning your nervous system to be able to tap into that at any time when you press on that point. Okay, I digress. Go back and listen to episode 1 if you want more information about that, or ask me a question and I'll clarify. So we have 1, receive. Open yourself up to receiving those compliments, okay? 2, anchor it in. 3, practice small things every day that you can promise yourself, commit to yourself, and follow through with. This is how you build self-trust with yourself, and self-trust is the foundation for confidence. So, keep it simple. You can start with something that you already do. Like, I'm going to brush my teeth this morning. Hell yeah, I brushed my teeth this morning. Just acknowledge yourself for what you're already doing. Another way you could do this, besides in each moment throughout your day, is by writing a list at the end of the day. What are all of the things that you did today that you're proud of yourself for, or that you just accomplished? And make it so simple and rudimentary, like getting out of bed. Acknowledge yourself for that. You know, you didn't have to do that. And we all know how cozy it is in that damn bed. We love it in there. We love it in that bed. But you got up. Okay, write that on your list. I love doing this practice, especially when I feel overwhelmed or when I feel like I'm not doing enough. Making the list is so helpful for actually getting the visual of how much I am doing throughout the day, even when it feels like I'm not doing enough. And it's such a good way for me to just dispel that nonsense that my inner critic likes to run, that I'm not doing enough, because I get to just see, well, here's the evidence of all the things that you were doing. Seems like enough to me. Okay? That's number 3. Here's number 4. Are you ready for it? Number 4 is fun. Number 4 is really fun. Fun and scary. One of the best ways to build confidence is by doing things that are outside of your comfort zone, that even scare you a little bit, that feel new and unfamiliar and make you nervous and maybe excited, but really nervous. Okay? Those are the experiences that you want to bring into your life if you want more confidence. People who have confidence are very seasoned in trying new things and going into experiences without knowing how it's going to go, without knowing that they're going to be great at it. They just start and see what happens. People who are confident know that you don't start something new when you feel ready. You start before you feel ready, and then you figure it out on the way. And that's how you build confidence. Because what you're doing when you do that, first of all, you're stretching your capacity. And this is a beautiful thing to do when you're ready to level up your skills and when you're ready to start showing up in a completely different way. Stretching your capacity to be with uncomfortable feelings, your nervous system, it's like going to the gym for your nervous system, okay? Showing yourself that it's actually safe to do new things. It's safe to be scared of something. And then you get to show yourself what you're capable of, that you're capable of something that you had no idea how it would go. You had no idea that you'd be able to do this thing, but you did it. And then you get to celebrate that. And that's how you build confidence, you guys. I love it. I love doing this, okay? I love it. I want to give you an example, but I also want to talk about number 5 because number 5 is so fun. Okay. I'll give you an example, then I'll say number 5. No, I want to say number 5 now. Okay. Number 5 is practice walking and moving as if you already had everything that you want, already had all the confidence that you want, okay? And you might even try on somebody else's character. Like maybe there's somebody in your life that you're really inspired by. Maybe it's a celebrity. Celebrities have like really sweet confidence, and I want to say swag, but that's kind of a weird word to say. But there's something, it's the charisma, it's like this energy, this presence, right? If there's somebody in your life who inspires that for you, borrow it, try it on, go somewhere, walk down the street, even if you're in your neighborhood, walk down the street as if you are that person. And maybe it feels really weird to you to do that, but you're just playing a character. You're always just playing a character. You're either playing yourself or somebody else who eventually integrates into your character. It's just like you get to have fun with it, okay? And I really want you to, if you try this, to have fun with it. Practice taking on those qualities that you are inspired by in other people. Those things that you see that you want to try, that you wish you had. Why not try? Why not try it on for you and see how it feels? Kids do this all the time, and it's the cutest thing, and it's also so smart. It's how we learn new skills. When you see somebody doing something that you like, no one's stopping you from doing that thing too. So those are my 5 things. And I want to share a little bit about my journey with confidence. And this is kind of funny because I was just looking back in my photos from 2016 to post on Instagram for this trend that's going around of posting pictures from 2016. And in 2016, I was a teenager in high school and I had so much confidence. Oh my gosh, I felt like I was hot shit. I took so many selfies. And at the same time, I felt really insecure. And I've been like this throughout my life, pretty much up until this point, where I have access to this insane confidence that is very, very juvenile. It's like a confidence that is kind of ignorant, that will just walk into a room and be like, yeah, I can do what I want. It's like sassy. And then I also have access to this really deeply insecure part of me. And so I share that because I want to continue to just dispel that myth that confident people are only just feeling hot all the time and feel good about themselves all the time, because it's just so not true. There's a way that I have trained myself to show up in a way that feels good to me. Like, it feels good to me to show up in my power in a new situation, in a room that I walk into. I much prefer to feel that way than to feel insecure when I go somewhere new. And that doesn't mean that I don't have my moments. But yeah, when I was in when I was in 2016, I was just like on fire, taking so many selfies, so many pictures. I was very confident at that point. And I'm honestly inspired by my younger self and bringing some of that energy with me into this new phase of my life, that confidence. Something too that's been helpful for me recently that I've discovered is that we all have a persona, and there's nothing wrong with having a persona, having a version of you that you put on for the public, for people who aren't your closest friends and family, who don't know the deeper, more vulnerable parts of you. It's okay to have a persona. It's actually can be really healthy. And I'm somebody who enjoys having a persona. And I want to also just say how this is related to confidence is that you can pretend. You can pretend to be confident. My hope for you is that you get to feel it deeply in yourself, to feel that confidence on a deep level. And I have personally experienced the value of faking it till you make it and pretending. I think when you do the faking it till you make it in combination with things like building self trust, recognizing when your negative self talk is happening and nipping that pattern in the bud and redirecting it to positive self talk, I think it can actually build a really solid foundation for having more confidence. Speak with authority. Speak with authority and practice with people who you feel comfortable around. Even The littlest things, like if you're writing an email to a coworker, notice if you're over explaining something or placating. Practice with people who you feel comfortable around. Practice speaking your truth in the moment and honoring what's true for you in that moment. Here's an example. Say you're with some friends and they ask you if you want to keep hanging out or you want to go home, and you know you want to go home, but you feel like everybody else wants to hang out. Own what's real for you in that moment. And these are your friends, so practice with them. Practice saying no and letting no be a full sentence. I love that one. And notice the discomfort that comes up when you start getting closer to speaking with more authority or saying no or owning what's true for you in that moment and being more honest. It feels risky. It feels risky. It feels scary, especially when you haven't been doing that, when you've been thinking about other people's emotions and prioritizing that over your own. And I know this might seem like off topic, but it's actually so key to building confidence, because the more that you are honest with yourself and honest with the people in your life about just what's true for you, your experience, what you want, even if it goes against what other people want, the more you do that, the more rooted you will get in yourself and your self-trust. And again, that is the foundation for confidence. I hope that this was helpful for you. And I also want to know if you have more questions about confidence. I want to hear them, because I have a lot to share about this, and this was just kind of like a taste of what I have to say about it. But again, just really offering this reframe that confidence is a skill that you can build. You are no different than Kim Kardashian, than Taylor Swift, than anybody that you look up to who has confidence. You are no different than them in your ability to develop that amount of confidence, okay? Because it is, again, it's a skill that you practice. So I want you to just really start with that and then use those things that I shared with you of how to start building that self-trust and competence. Make that list. Share that list with somebody. Celebrate your accomplishments with them. Oh, how amazing is that? Start walking around as if you are that girl, because you are. Oh my gosh, I have one more bonus tip. I'm so glad that this came to me because I didn't write this down, but this is very important, okay? Playlists. Make a playlist of songs that make you feel like your most baddie self, okay? This is so important. If you don't do anything else on this list, well, I hope you do. But if you don't, do this, okay? Music activates your emotions. And when you connect with that feeling of, yes, girl, I am her. I am her. That is so, so key. Make the playlist, even if it's just 3 songs. Songs that connect you to feeling like your most gorgeous, vibrant, vibing self, and then listen to them all the time. There's neuroscience to back this up. I'm not going to go into I don't read the studies, but I do know that what you feed your brain matters. And what you listen to matters, and especially with music, because music touches into your emotions. The more you connect with the feeling of feeling good, the more primed you are to feel that more of the time. Okay, that's my final thing that I needed to say, and I'm so glad that I did. I have some awesome playlists on Spotify. If you want to listen to them, you're welcome to get inspiration, but I do want you to make your own. I will just say Fergalicious is a great song to start with. Shout out to Fergie. She made us a great one. And yeah, go from there. Also Born This Way by Lady Gaga. Okay, I'm gonna just leave it there with those two. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I know it was kind of scattered at the end when I had a final note to share with you, but I had to because it's so important. And I hope you listened all the way to the end to get to that most important one. So, yeah, thank you for listening. I hope you got something out of this. In the comments, I would love to hear what you learned, if you learned anything. If you have your own perspective on confidence, I would love to hear that too. I'm fascinated. And I hope you have a really, really good rest of your day. And I hope you keep anchoring in your moments when you feel on top of the world, because you deserve it. Okay, bye. I will see you next time. If you enjoyed today's episode, consider following the podcast and rating the podcast 5 stars. Only 5-star ratings allowed, okay? If you want to rate me a 4 or a 3, maybe don't. Just kidding. I'm very open to your feedback. And if you have any, you're welcome to comment. You're welcome to email me. You're also welcome to find me on Instagram or TikTok. It's my name, Talia Matz, TALYAMATZ. You can also find me on my website, taliamatz.com, or email me, love@taliamatz.com. I am so excited that you're here, and I hope you, again, have a great rest of your day. Mwah.